Welcome to Biblical Greek. In today's lesson, our focus is on diphthongs. Now, what are diphthongs? Diphthongs are two vowels coming together. Now, let's go back to our alphabet, the Greek alphabets. How many alphabets do we have? Altogether, 24. Out of the 24, 7 are vowels. So let's list them first, and then it'll be easy for us to understand. And the way we do it is by listing just by saying just a sound rather than their titles. So it's easier to memorize. As you remember in our alphabet session, we talked about how to memorize the alphabets. Don't memorize them by their titles, alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon. Do it more by the sound because it'll make it faster for you to memorize. And also, you can check the lexicon quicker. And believe it or not, you'll be reading the Greek text by the first evening of class. So, a, b, g, d, a, z, a, t, e, k, l, m, n, x, o, p, r, s. First is the the sigma that comes inside or before in that word. And this is the final sigma when sigma comes at the end. It looks like that. T, u, phi, ki, upsi, o. So there you have the 24 alphabets in the Greek alphabet. Which ones of them are vowels? A, e, o, u, o. 7 altogether. A, e, o, u, o. Just like in our English alphabet, we have vowels like a, e, I, o, u, sometimes y. Same thing is happening over here. A, e, o, u, o. Now, what happens when two of them are combined? That's a diphthong. So let's list some of them. What if a and e, this one and this one, are combined? If you remember our session on pronunciation, or if you haven't watched that session, please go and watch it, because we talk about two kinds of pronunciations. One is the classical Erasmian pronunciation, kind of what I grew up on when I studied Greek. And then there is the Koine modern pronunciation, which scholars have come to believe is more accurate. The Koine pronunciation is more like the modern pronunciation, or the modern is more like the Koine pronunciation. But if it was under the Erasmian pronunciation, it is I as in isle. You see how easy it is for us to remember that? Just looking at and E would be I. But how is it under the Koine and the modern pronunciation? It's like E in get, or egg, egg, That's an sound rather than an I sound. What if it is E and I coming together? Or how would that be? Well, if you go by the classical pronunciation, it's like EI in 8, A. How would it be in the Koine or modern pronunciation? It's like the I in spit, E. Spit, rather than A. What if the diphthong is with O and I, or Omicron and iota? Well, in the classical Erasmian pronunciation is like the OI in oil, oi. But what is it in the Koine and modern pronunciation? Is just like this one here, like the I in spit. I. I know that's kind of odd because I want to say oi, but it is probably more accurate to say E, like in I in spit. Another one is U and E. It's like ui. For classical Rasmian, it's like sweet. Ui. But how is it in the Koine modern? They're exactly the same, like the I in spit, E. So, to be honest, the Koine modern pronunciation for someone like us who are learning Greek as a foreign language, as a dead language, it is tough to remember. It's far easier to just say ui, just like Erasmian and classical pronunciation was, but to be accurate, it is E. There are some more diphthongs. Here's another one. Alpha and Upsilon coming together, and U sound. Well, this is a little complicated because if it is before an unvoiced sound, if this is before an unvoiced sound, then it comes like, it is pronounced like uff. So if the word is what we say outhouse, if it's like outhouse, Outhouse would be the classical Erasmian pronunciation. Au would be classical Erasmian. What would be the Koine modern? Uftos. Uftos. So that is pronounced as uf. Now what is this? What if this au is before a voiced sound like Stauros? Okay, what if it's before a voiced sound like Stauros? Stauros is cross. What if it's before that? Then in that case, it is of. Not of, but of. So Stauros would be Stavros. Stavros. Uftos, Stavros. That's Koine and modern pronunciation. Classical Erasmian, Outhouse, Stauros. Very simple. But we do need to try to be as accurate as possible. But let's look at another diphthong. Epsilon and Upsilon together, or e and u. If it's before an unvoiced sound, then it's like F. For example, the word Eucharisto. Eucharisto. How would you pronounce Eucharisto? It would be more like Efristo. Efristo. So what if, again, just like au or alpha, upsilon in Stauros, before a voiced sound, it became Stavros. What happens if this au is before a voice sound, say like Panuma? Panuma. Panuma. How would you pronounce this here? So that would be pneuma. Pneuma. Ev sound rather than pneuma. Spirit. Pneuma. And finally, this one, O and U, or Omicron Upsilon. And the pronunciation, whether it's classical Erasmian or modern Koine, is the same. It's like the OU in soup. U. U is the pronunciation for that diphthong. So this concludes our session on diphthongs.